All right, welcome back for another episode of AHC Garage, and we're back on the NC1 again. This week we got some pretty cool stuff, but before we get into that, we're going to go over briefly what we did before. If you're interested in seeing any more in-depth about it, we got a link right below that will bring you to our other videos on this car. So you saw in our first video, we got the car and bought it out of state, had it transported here. We gave it a good look over. We got some of the maintenance done on it. And then we went ahead and showed you some performance stuff, such as downpipes. That's one of my favorite mods on this car. It came out beautiful. It gives the car a completely different personality. We got that one in the book. And this week, we're going to be getting into the suspension. Pretty cool setup on it. This car is equipped with a magnetic ride suspension. In other words, there's a ferrous metal inside of the oil in the strut, and it uses electromagnetic to change the dampening rate on the struts. So we have to show you how to disassemble the strut without damaging any of those components and install the lowering kit. Next, we also have the RV6 intercooler piping. So the factory piping we'll be showing you is very soft and pliable, prone to stretch and possibly blow off of the turbo or the intercooler. It's been seen a few times in the past. They come with a reinforced silicone tube, just like aftermarket intercooler piping, if you will, and it replaces the 4 factory hoses that go to the intercooler and turbos. So we'll be showing you that on that one too, on this one as well, and then in our next video we'll be doing the factory accessories. So let's go ahead and hop into the intercooler piping, and then we'll give you a brief breakdown on how that works and then the suspension. So since we already have the fender liners out for the downpipe job, we also left some heat shielding out that we removed to give us better access to these. These are the intercooler piping that we're going to change. You see they're very soft. You can see over here, it's already started to kind of come off of its mounting point, and that's something we see with this style of intercooler piping. So this kit from RV6 replaces this pipe and another one up here, which we're going to give you access to see once we remove the intercooler in order to get to it. So it's just 2 pipes on each side and a new set of spring clamps in order to hold it down properly. So let's show you the new stuff. Here we have the RV6 intercooler piping kit. This is that one pipe that I showed you before. You can see this is a lot more solid. It's reinforced. It's not going to expand under boost and stretch off of the plumbing and cause a boost leak, check engine light. Then you got to bring it to the dealership or pull your fender liner out and fix it. You can see all the clamps that come with it. They're all engraved with RV6 insignia so that you know the kit is complete. So these are our pipes. So first thing we're going to do in order to replace them is get the intercooler out of place, and that will give us access to all the plumbing. So we'll show you how to do that now. All right, so we're going to start by pulling off the intercooler piping here where it goes onto the turbo. And that's the intercooler. So here we have the upper flange for the intercooler. It's very tricky to get out. We had to remove a panel inside of there. It's like heat shielding. And what we're going to try and do now is match this angle right here to properly replace this with the aftermarket unit. All right, so we have the top one done. Now we're on the bottom. So this is how we pulled it out factory. And you can already see that the clamp's been slipping. And we have a pretty big gap here. It's just barely holding on. This new design here with the better clamping system, you can see the diameter of this clamp is much bigger than the factory one. It's going to give us a much better situation right there. So we're just going to swap this out and then put everything back on the car. All right, so we got this installed. It looks really good. And you can see it's much stiffer. All the clamps and everything are much more substantial. This is in place. We know this is not going to pop off on us. We're going to slap the other one on real quick, and then we're going to move on to lowering the car.
What's that, John?
It was the cart. It wasn't me. All right, so now we're on to the lowering part and on the suspension of the car. So this part's pretty simple. We've done a video on this before in the past, but now we're gonna go a little bit more in depth. All we have to do on the front is remove this bolt here to get the brake line out of the way. We remove the 14 pinch bolt on the bottom of the strut, and then we'll go up top and show you what we remove up there. All right, so up here, we have to disconnect this plug that's somewhat hidden underneath the cowl. Take this little clip off, take these two bolts, and we can remove the strut right out of here. That's how you get the front out. All right, so we took out two bolts from here, and what you're able to do is lift this, and then if you look right behind here, it gives you access to the plug up here, which we have to disconnect. There we go. Now these are disconnected up here. We can go downstairs and remove them. This sits on two little like dowels. Pull that out of there, make sure that our plug comes through the hole, and then we just have to give ourselves a little bit of room and get this bad boy out of here. Boom. Like that. All right, so now that we have all the suspension out of the car, we're going to go ahead and show you what we're going to be using to lower the car. So what Science of Speed came up with, which is pretty tricky and pretty cool, it's a lot like the new Corvettes are, the C8s, where the lower perch is all you really need to modify in order to lower the car. So what they did is they machined these lower perches that replace the ones that are on here, and all it does is lower where the spring sits on here. So pretty cool kit. They also had to design a method for removing the nut from the top of the strut, because when you order these struts from Honda, they come a complete unit with the spring, everything fully assembled. So they're not really designed by the factory to be serviced, as in just replacing a strut and keeping your spring. So they engineered this tool here to hold it together so that you don't spin the shaft and damage the strut internally. Also comes with these rings. So these rings are 12 millimeters thick. This drop is 24 millimeters. If you want the car to only go down 12 millimeters, you would install this spring spacer right here and then put this on, and now you have a 12 millimeter drop. We're going the full 24, a little shy of an inch, and that will give us the look that we want when we pair it with a different setup wheel size. So we're going to go ahead and show you what it takes in order to do this whole swap. We're going to start by de-pinning all of these plugs. All right, so we're going to pull this boot out. This is to keep the moisture off of the nut and stop the nut from rusting. Pull this right on out over the end. So now you can see the nut and the top of the strut, and you can see how the wire comes through here. So the tool's designed to allow all this to follow through and not damage it. So now we just got to do that to these other three, then we're ready for the spring compressor. All right, so we got in the spring compressor here. We're going to take some tension off and then crack this loose with our special tool. So we transfer over the rubber to the new lowering cuffs. They're all the same part, so you don't have to worry about that. So when you take this off, you'll see there will be some residue oil on here. It's completely normal. It's a normal characteristic of this strut system. I just like to go ahead and clean off any sand, dirt, make sure that the seal is seated properly on here. But don't be afraid if you see this wet with fluid. That's completely normal. And that's how you install the lowering cuff onto this. We're on to the rear. The rear, having this style mount into the lower control arm, you want to make sure that it stays squared up and aligned where it mounts at the top, or else you'll have fitment issues when you go to put this back in. What I like to do is just use my paint marker, make a mark that lines me up here. I know center is here, center's here. I just follow it up to the top here. Just a little mark with the paint marker that lets me know the proper orientation. All right, so we have all the lowering cuffs on. Now we're reinstalling the rubber seal on the top of each one of the struts, and then we're going to repin all of these plugs back on, reinstall it in the car, put everything back together. It also comes with new of these clips here. It's a zip tie and a wire management clip, new from Honda. It comes with everything in the package. All right, so that's the last one. So we're gonna go ahead and put them back in the car now. So we put it in, and if you look down here, it went right into place into the strut fork. And now what we're gonna do is move the suspension down a little bit till we get these dowel pins to line straight up into the slot on the body. Just like that. All right, and what you can see right behind here is where the wire comes up from the top of the strut. Just right here. A little tricky to do because I didn't remove all the covers, but that saves me some time. There's enough flex in this that you won't mess anything up. Put it right back onto there. Clip this in. And we're ready to go. Now all we have to do is check with the computer that everything's at the right height, and then do an alignment, put the wheels on, put our front bumper on, and then this thing's ready to go. So suspension's installed, charge pipes installed, down pipes are installed, and now we're ready to put all the covers back on the car because we're complete. So we're going to install the under engine cover. We're going to reattach the bumper at the bottom back here as well. Then we're going to install the fender liners, put the back tires on, and that's a wrap back here. And alignment, and we're done. Two. 20, what? I don't know. I think there's about 30 of them on here. I lost track after 22. I have no idea. So we got a bunch here. We have a few more to put back here, and then on to the fender liner. Okay. 1, 2. My arm's hurt now.
28.
28. Want to make sure all the bolts are tight, nothing's loose. We have nothing that's going to rattle or fall out of the car. And that's that. Time for the fender liners. Boom. And that's a wrap.
Now, while John and Mike are finishing up lowering the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and get this NSX beak all painted. Now, this is a raw plastic, and it just gets scuffed up with a gray scuff pad. Very light scuffing to create adhesion for our adhesion promoter and then our sealer. This is plastic primer or adhesion promoter, and without it, the paint just will not stick. So once we spray it on pretty wet, it will evaporate and dry, and we can move into our sealer coat. Our sealer is just like primer, but you don't sand it, and within 15 minutes, you can move on to our base coat, which is right here. Now, since our sealer is already white, we only really need one good coat, a base coat, and it is completely covered and ready for clear coat. We'll add on 2 coats of High Solids Premium Clear Coat to match the clarity and gloss level of this NSX, and once that's all done, it looks beautiful and ready to go back onto the car. So let's head into the shop and meet Mike so we can get it installed onto the bumper cover. All right, so we just finished with the beak that you just saw. It's all nice and dry, and it's time to get installed on the front bumper. Look how beautiful this looks. Now, one thing I love about this color, it is the purest white that they have. It is straight toner with nothing else mixed into it. No black, no orange, no green, no nothing, no blue. It is the purest white on the road. Now, John decided to bail on us, so I'm gonna do it all by myself, and luckily for me, I'm NSX certified as well. And just like that, it's in. See? Doesn't take much. We'll come over on the other side and install some screws. All right, well, we got the last screw in. I think this thing looks phenomenal. It's clean, and I'm loving the look of it. Now, it's time to get it on the car, and I want to see this thing lowered for the first time, right? All right, I'm gonna let you go underneath. I'm gonna hold it. Perfect. Do you really even need John? Everything back together like a glove. Perfect. Well, the bumper's all on with the trim. Last thing we're gonna do, Mike's gonna put the wheels on. We're gonna see how this thing looks on the ground. John said the only thing I could do is paint. Let me tell you something. I can take off wheels and I can paint too. Doesn't take much to control big stick. I've got experience. Now with the car all back down, I gotta say it looks good. We did a lot of work in this video. The guys did the intercooler charge pipe. They lowered the whole entire car. You saw some paint work that I did on the front trim. And if you wanna see this car down on the ground, you're gonna wanna stay tuned for next week, as well as doing some carbon fiber enhancements to the interior of the vehicle. And I'm gonna be back in the next episode because I'm gonna be doing a little bit of paint work in that edge bay. I hope you guys like what you see. Make sure you follow all of AHC Garage to see updates on this project and many other projects that we have off. We'll see you guys in the next episode.